We've specialised in historical portraits for almost 40 years, and in that time we've handled several quite interesting portraits of Charles Edward Stuart, known as the Young Pretender. This work, however, is the most important. This is a signed work by Domenico Duprà, an Italian court artist, and it was painted in 1740. We think possibly even commissioned by Charles's father, James. For the exiled Jacobite court, portraits such as this were hugely important because it enabled them to build and maintain relationships with their loyal followers back home. Towards the end of the 1730s, Charles and his younger brother Henry became increasingly conspicuous on the Jacobite campaign trail, and as Charles grew older, all eyes turned to him. Spain was at war with Great Britain, and the next general election was poised to produce a hung parliament with the Tories, who were pro-Jacobite, holding the balance. The potential for war between England and France also seemed possible, and there was now an obvious need to inspire support from the Jacobites in France and Spain and secure the loyalty of the dissatisfied British public. It was therefore decided that new portraits of Charles and Henry should be commissioned, which could then be engraved and disseminated widely in printed form to help build and maintain support for a restored Stuart monarchy. Domenico Duprà was therefore commissioned to paint 2 portraits of each of the princes, and all 4 were well received. The second pair, of which the present work is an exceptionally rare surviving example, was more ambitious and showed the princes within a landscape setting, a reminder no doubt of the lands for which they are fighting. The poses are livelier and the compositions are overall more engaging, with Charles standing defiantly hand on hip, directing his full attention at the viewer. James, Charles's father, preferred the second pair and ordered at least 4 copies to be made. It is possible, though difficult to say for certain at this stage, that the present work was one of these portraits. The Duprà portraits were an immediate success and were engraved in Paris soon after they were finished. They were then copied by numerous other engravers and became definitive images of the princes, which remained in circulation up until and throughout the Jacobite Rising of 1745. The hand-carved frame is also of note. Datable to the mid-18th century and of French origin, it's almost certainly the original frame. A gift of a portrait from King James himself would certainly have warranted the commissioning of a frame such as this. Its exquisite detailing suggests this was a prized object and was no doubt intended to hang in a gallery of equally illustrious portraits.